My two statements really, and to launch the debate, will be that sustainability is and should be a key driver to innovation. And the second one, it is time to think sustainability. It is time to act sustainably.
If we leave aside the more formal definitions that we see and regard sustainability as essentially being managing your business for the long term to make sure that you can go on being sustainable, it becomes relatively clear why you need to make sustainability an integral part of your business. We regard corporate sustainability, as I think most large corporates do now, as being made up of three things really, which is economic sustainability, so the ability to make sure your business goes on being in business in spite of whatever changes may come at you in technology or economics or regulatory issues. It's environmental issues and sustainability, so it's building your business model in a way that your model and the environment can coexist harmoniously. And it's the social sustainability as well, which really is, I think, about meeting the needs and expectations of an increasingly broad range of stakeholders. When it comes to integrating sustainability into our business, I think there are three big drivers I look at the moment. One is obviously the issue of climate change and the impact of limited resources as you go forward for a lot of the industries that, as a bank, we're involved in financing. It's also about, another big driver is maintaining the confidence of society in what you're doing. And that becomes particularly relevant in this age of absolutely instant and widespread social media. So you have to keep your social contract to operate going in a lot of different countries and environments. And the other big driver is your ability, I think, to compete for the best staff you can get and keep them engaged with your company and motivated. I don't think really it's about can doing good be good for business. I think it's about doing good business really does depend on making these things part of the business model.
Of course, every organization needs to seriously undertake a review of its own impact in terms of people, planet and profit on what's going on. And we have very simple goals to remain profitable and to create profit from sustainability, to have in the end a net positive impact on the planet, and to help people in our supply chain and our employees live a more sustainable existence. These are pretty straightforward things. So what can the financial sector do? Well, I think lots. I mean, I think this is a huge business opportunity, in my view, to think about not just the big changes that you're already engaged in financing green energy projects, electric car charging, but think about the way that financial products can actually incentivize behavior change. This will really tie clients into you, customers into you, and I think will fundamentally take just managing your own organization in a sustainable way into a new positioning in the marketplace.
What can financial institutions do and what do clients care about and how do we integrate that? I like to think of it as ways that we engage, educate, and enlighten. When I think about engagement, the way that we're measuring engagement, we do a partner satisfaction or an employee satisfaction or partner engagement survey. What we've learned is that even from the perspective of hiring people, the future, the younger people that will come into the organization care very deeply about these issues. So in order to attract and retain the most talented, the most gifted individuals within the firm, we want to have a specific position wherein we are seen as a most attractive employer for those individuals interested in working for our firm. We know that a sustainable economy is still, I think, under definition. What does it really mean to be a part of a sustainable economy? How do we define that? What are the attributes of that? What are the investments required? And ultimately, how will we measure the benefits to society and what it will cost all of us to do that? I think that is the most important question for us, an interesting dialogue and debate in which we engage, but it's certainly one where I think the financial services industry can play a significant part. It's a matter of us agreeing on what is most important, understanding how we would measure that, and determining what the investments need to be.
Rabobank's view on sustainability is an interesting one because we always believe and say it's part of our genes. We're also there to help our clients and support our clients to conduct their business in a clean and sustainable manner. In my particular area, payments, we've had a great initiative to try to reduce paper consumption by saying to our customers, do you always need a paper daily statement, or do you need daily statements? Can you maybe have bi-weekly or monthly statements? And by the way, if you use internet banking, do you really need statements at all? So in that way, we've done good for the environment because we've significantly reduced paper consumptions. But we've also done good for business because it is a little bit cheaper to have customers look at their internet, at their bank account statements, rather than send statements through the mail.
But are you ready to share your best practices amongst the financial community?
I would say we are absolutely ready to share. I think it's imperative that we start the discussion and determine the best approach for it. The question, I think, is the way in which we do it, having the appropriate definition for it so that we're all not pursuing different goals, but certainly sharing and having that conversation is very important.
I think a lot of what's going to happen in financial services is going to be changes in the way business is undertaken to become more real-time, much more sustainable by definition, because you're just getting everything done much more efficiently. But a great deal of this behavioral stuff, I think, is going to be very exciting to share.
We try and make our sustainability report, I banned pictures of polar bears on ice floes and smiling children and that sort of, it doesn't do that. It tells people what we do in the non-financial sector. And I would like to see governments bringing in some sort of consistency and requirement there, because that is what actually pushes people to think about what they do, start monitoring it, start putting policies in place. So those things would be helpful as well.
There is no payments if you don't share. I mean, every payment has a sender and a receiver, and in most instances, a bank at the sender and a bank at the receiver. So payments don't happen if you don't work together and if you don't share.
From the original question, is doing good for business? I personally heard this is happening, this is inevitable, and we ought to do good, and we ought to do it in a way which is good for business. The financial sector at large is not perceived as a champion of sustainability or a champion of CSR. And it's up to you to change this. You have to prove us wrong. And we're ready to hear that. And from what I heard today, I guess I'm an optimistic person. It will take time. It will take not 1 year, maybe 3 years, maybe 10 years, but eventually we will get there.